ladies and gentlemen, we are going to introduce the starting five for the visit. I am Storm. At point guard is number 3.
Are we supposed to be announcing this?
Yeah.
Shoot guard number 1, Philly Rush. Small forward number 22, Rashad Black. The power forward number 6, Mike Martin. And servicing Mr. Junior number 50, Nick Evans.
Hey.
The head coach of this story is Joe Solero. His assistants, Eric Labor and Mike Leslie.
Huh?
Ian McCarthy's gonna be a name change.
Ian McCarthy?
Yeah.
Who's that?
The general manager of the team.
Oh, okay, I thought so.
Jabs Newsby. Jabs Newsby. Is he on there?
Jabs, Newby, yeah.
Al Stewart went home. Mike Armstrong's on.
Mike Armstrong's down there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're up to date. Hey, these are their starters. All the ones highlighted. Yeah. So.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time to hear your scores and comments. So we're going to get you to make some noise for the Crickeros, starting off with 6'2" point guard from Franklin, Ontario. Warm-up number 10, Jabs Newby.
I don't wait.
This is 6'2" point guard in Oakland, BC. Word number 2, Corey Nolan.
I'm really nervous. Let's go.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, 6'11" center from Pasadena, California. Give it up for number 0, Anthony Score.
David, you want to be over
Next up, 6'6" forward from Toronto, Ontario. Number 35, Nicky McDonald. From Quebec City, 6'4" shooting guard. Number 11, Robinson Long. 6'7" forward from Detroit, Michigan. Wearing number 21, Marlon Mason. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce the starting five this evening for your Midwest. We'll kick it off with 6'9" center from Chicago, Illinois. He weighs 225 pounds. His college team was Cardinal Stritch University. Number 34, Derek.
Man, I want him to dunk all over someone.
From the Penn
He's not afraid.
Oh, I know, I watched his highlight reel.
His college team was Northern Michigan, weighing in at 235 pounds. Number 32, Ricky Olszewski.
Boy, Ricky!
Next up, 6'6" power forward was Anthony Alcantara, MVP in 2012. He played his college ball at Mason Community College, hometown in Phoenix, Arizona. He is 6'6" and 205, number 25, Dave
So do we know these work for sure?
No? Great.
All right, please welcome to Center Court Mills, Florida George.
I really don't know. Actually, I could test. Look here.
And let's have a round of applause for head coach Rob Spawn. USC coaches all gone.
Test. No, but I didn't.
Oh, luckily.
Mine doesn't.
You sure?
Test.
Oh, sure, I want to throw it. You gotta make sure the shielding works.
I don't know. Put your headphones on. Test. I don't know. Put these on. Test. No.
I can't tell.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and welcome Madam Adams Alexander to the correct position of our national anthem.
What?
I don't know how to get a text out yet.
What do I put it on high?
Not Ian. It's message me during the anthem. Ask Anessa. I don't know Warren, Ian. I don't know Warren.
In my book, we're going to be winners.
Man, how's that?
Okay.
Here, stand in your special spot over here. Oh, stand. Can you stand? You want to stand there? Stay there? Sit. Look this way. Pretend to talk.
Get it!
Test. Testing. Testing.
Very good.
Test. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. We have an NBL matchup here between the PEI Storm and the St. John Millrats. The Storm off to an early start with their long-range three by Mr. Rush. Alongside on the broadcast here this evening is Jack Daigle, a member of the Can-Am Elite team, played in the East Coast Games this summer, and Chloe Morrison, all of 4 years of age. Really excited to be here tonight. She's going to be broadcasting with us. This should be a good one, folks. Jack, what do you think tonight about the game so far?
With the new member of the Storm, Lavelle Cook, he should do a lot coming off the bench. But they seem to be off by to an early start right now. So we'll just see how the game goes.
Millrats going in early. Deep under the hoop. Storm coming back. Storm off to an early start in the 5-0 lead early in the first quarter.
Nice bucket by McCollum Grant.
After you, it'll be my turn, okay? It will be my turn now.
Ricky Bolchi all over the boards.
Raptors still with no bucket yet in the first.
So starters for the St. John Millrats got Anthony Anderson. Well, look at Bolchi back, not only rebounding on the defensive end, coming down and jacking a long-range three. Starters for the St. John Millrats, Anthony Anderson, Doug Aaron Jr., Gabe Freeman, a legend in this league, Rick Bolchi, and Darren the Beast Moore. Island Storm with Billy Rush, Malcolm Grant, Mike Martin, Rashawn Wack, and Nick Big Man Evans, who's just going to the basket now. Quick foul of Gabe Freeman, a reaching foul. Chloe, what do you think so far about the game?
I love basketball and anything in the whole wide world.
Well, that's a good start, Chloe. And that's what the league is all about. Promoting the game of basketball, getting youth involved. Big Nick Evans going to the hoop. Rick Volchi having a bit of a difficult time guarding the big man. Island Storm. Mike Martin coming down with the rebounds there. Billy Rush is dangerous. We know that already. And again, you make a really good point there, Jack. PEI Storm bringing Lavelle Cook, a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, who I had the opportunity to coach down in Atlanta, Georgia, phenomenal basketball player. And quick story on Lavelle Cook. I had an opportunity to coach with Will Voigt down in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Atlanta Hawks and the Bakersfield Jam. And Lavelle Cook being fresh out of a Division I basketball school and really showing his game down there. And we've stayed in contact for the past couple of years. He's come up and actually stayed in Canada with me, and we've trained together, and he's been around the world playing basketball in England, down in Mexico, and just getting the call up last night to play for the PEI Storm.
And anyone who does know Lavelle Cook would know that he's a very explosive player, nice shooter. He's a good value coming off the bench for the Storm tonight.
Absolutely.
My turn, guys. You talk first and not with me, okay?
So this will be a heated battle, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about New Brunswick versus PEI. This is a huge rivalry. We talk about the Moncton Miracles Halifax, PEI, and St. John. All of these teams very well matched. And you're seeing already, just early in the season, very close battles right down to the end of the game. Chloe and I rode to a Moncton Miracles game the other night, and Jackie, as you know, you've been coming to a couple of these games with me here and doing live television. These games come right down to the buzzer in many cases, because they're so well matched, these teams on offense.
Can I have that, please? I need that. Can I have the headphones? I need those. Thank you.
So Doug Herring's bringing the ball up the court. A veteran guard. And speaking of another veteran guard, Anthony Anderson.
With the dime, a quick dime by Anthony Anderson to Doug Herring.
And again, the Island Storm going long range on the Mill Rats here. Again, the Island Storm off to that early lead. Beautiful pass into Gabe Freeman. As you know, Jack, Gabe Freeman's been around this league for a few years.
Always a factor in any game. That would make 2 turnovers for Island Storm tonight.
What I got to say, Daddy? What I got to say? I can do it? Pass more!
Chloe's making a good point. These pros have got to be passing and sharing the basketball.
Daddy,
Good.
I gotta say no hitting, okay?
Nick Evans fighting for the boards. Always aggressive under the boards, Nick Evans.
And no hitting!
That's right, Chloe. These guys have to be very careful reaching in and committing fouls. Rick Bolche, the Montreal, Quebec native. Dangerous offensively for the St. John Mill Rats. Let's get back and touch on Anthony Anderson, a legend of the game. Been around a long time. Mike Martin trying to light up early.
And 1. Gabe Freeman, and 1.
Now it's funny. Earlier this evening, my brother and I were talking about Gabe Freeman. He's been around the pro leagues in the ABA, NBL Canada. He's traveled the world as well. And
Can I say, pass the ball more at the other people?
Like we said, we're going to see Lavelle Cook's first action right now.
ladies and gentlemen, I know we have people tuning in from New Orleans, Louisiana right now. I know Lavelle Cook's family quite well, and he has just checked into the game. Number 15, Lavelle Cook out of New Orleans. Went to New Orleans University. Keep an eye out for him. Gabe Freeman battling.
Big defense by No Rats right there. They're committing turnovers early.
No Rats are all over the basketball right now. Beautiful defense.
That last turnover would make 3 for the Storm, so that's a little much for the start of the game.
Long range shooting, Jack, is going to be a key to this game. These Island Storm love to jack the long range 3 balls.
A nice little move by Gabe Freeman, but he misses the bucket.
No Rats are really going to focus in on driving it right into Mike Martin. Or not Mike Martin, I apologize. Big Nick Evans. You want to get as many fouls drawn at Nick Evans as possible and get him out of the game early. Because he's a big body to have to battle.
As you said, 3-point shooting is a big factor for the Island Storm. With Lavelle Cook also coming off the bench.
Nice steal by Gabe Freeman. Beautiful passing. Nice finish.
That's exactly what you want on a fast break right there.
I can do it. and be nice to the other kid.
That's right, Chloe. It's all about teamwork. And the Millrats are doing that right now. Very good on defensive end. Passing the ball well. Storm also moving the ball quite well. Mike Martin's looking to see what he wants to do with the ball. There's Nick Evans. Not able to hit. Lavelle Cook coming down with his first rebound in the National Basketball League of Canada. And they're all over the boards.
Collecting boards. They're collecting them.
Here comes the legend, Anthony Anderson. Beautiful drive to the hoop. I told you.
Beautiful finish.
Jack, you know they're going to drive to the hoop. They want to draw fouls and big Nick Evans. They want to kick him out of the game early. And that's what you might see happen right here, right now, Jack.
My turn now?
Millrats key at Jungle Gyms every Monday night. Join
So as we go into a timeout here, the score is 18-15 for the Millrats. The Storm did come off to an early lead, but the defense from the Millrats really paid off. And using that whole theory of driving into the bigs paid off.
My turn now, okay?
Chloe's got her analysis for the timeout. Go for it, Chloe.
We share the ball with the other basketball team. Go.
Chloe's nailed it. Jack, we talked, you had the opportunity to play with our team, the Can-Am Elite, this past summer, pulling off a big win over the KV High School alumni. And one of the keys to that game was the way we moved the ball. It was beautiful. Making that extra pass. Chloe talked about that earlier, sharing the basketball. It's important for 4- and 5-year-old basketball players, but guess what? At the pro level, that extra pass is going to get you some extra buckets.
And defense. Our defense, Millrats defense early they've made Storm turn over the ball at least 3 times, and we've seen that trap again and again. If you've been to a Millrats game, you've seen the trap. It's real dangerous.
That was very effective so far. And again, look for the Millrats to drive early into big Nick Evans. They're going at number 50. They want to get him out of the game as early as possible because it really opens up your options as a coach if you know you.
Gabe Freeman with another board. He's been all over the place so far in this game.
Doug Herring's very effective handling the basketball as well. Let's touch on him, number 15. We watched him in Moncton the other day. Another veteran guard, putting Anthony Anderson and Herring at the 1 and 2 positions. Just mishandling that pass there. Happens.
A big steal. Another big steal. As I touched on earlier, that trap. They're committing turnovers and they're pressuring the ball early. That was Gabe Freeman again. He's been all over the place. Boards, defense, and scoring so far.
And you see early, Coach Salerno having to talk to his big man, Nick Evans, saying, look, watch out for those early fouls. You're going to get into foul trouble, number 50.
We can play.
Gabe Freeman able to hit his free throw.
Number 2, Corey Allman, the DC sniper, was just checked in.
Taylor Prinking is the official printer of the St. John Millrats. Visit TEGI.ca for more information.
So again, the Island Storm Very good. They're doing a very good job spreading the floor here. You notice, Jack, Coach Lerno telling his big man to clear out to really utilize that triangle offense. Give it some isolation for number 20. Brian Addison. You might question why. Very athletic, explosive. We haven't seen a lot of him until this season. But he's a guy who could get 20, 30 points a game easily. You can see early on trying to isolate him and give him some opportunities to drive to the hoop.
Yeah, he is a man to watch out for. A nice move by Corey Allman. Finish that layup there. Lavelle Cook with the shot.
Nick Evans all over that rebound.
They can never forget about Lavelle Cook in that corner. He's a deadly three-point shooter, and just because he missed that one, you still have to close out on him.
Yeah. Look, every time a new player comes into the D League, the NBA, NBL Canada, or overseas, if you watch live stream basketball, these guys need a couple minutes to get their feet from underneath them. A lot of them have traveled, come off long flights. Lavelle Cook has just come from Mexico. So another great drive to the hoop by the Millrats. Same game plan.
And again, coming to a new team and setting into your new surroundings and your new teammates, that's always kind of difficult. But I feel like he's going to be a good match for the team. We'll just see how he goes.
That's what happens when you're a legend in the game. It's like Kobe Bryant. Those are going to roll in. And Anthony Anderson, talk about him again. He is a veteran player, guaranteed 20 points easily per game, and fearless, as you know, Jack. Anthony Anderson, a fearless basketball player.
I just recently had a chance to play with Anthony Anderson myself a couple of weeks ago, and it's crazy. It's crazy how explosive he is. You can't guard him. It's hard. You can't do it. Speaking of him, a tray right there by Anthony Anderson. Can never forget about him. Never ever.
My turn, Daddy. My daddy is right. We got to share the ball with the others, so we be careful if there's little kids who want to play basketball. So we got to be careful at the little kids because there's some little kids who will go on the basketball team.
That's absolutely correct, Chloe Morrison. So, as Chloe just stated a second ago, having to share the ball, being effective teammates, and these pros are really setting the tone for the youth in the community. And Jack and I were talking about that earlier. Jack, we talked about Jack Tilley out of St. John, New Brunswick, playing on the U17 team this summer at the East Coast Games. Just a phenomenal basketball player. Now playing prep school in New Hampshire. And a lot of the exposure these guys are getting are a lot of these basketball pro events. We talked about the East Coast Games and having college scouts from the U.S. coming up to watch the game, and the game really picking up in Canada. It's now taken over as the #1 amateur sport over hockey, believe it or not. And specifically in St. John, you're seeing a huge uprise in the sport. And Jack, you can probably attest to that. Still being in high school. How popular has the game become ever since the pro basketball's come to St. John?
It's growing. It's constantly growing, and it's like you said, it's above hockey now. and it's never going to stop growing because we're getting connections. We've had #1 draft picks the past 2 years. Lavelle Cook with the shot right there. We've had 2 #1 draft picks the last 2 years, Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett. And that just shows how far we've come with our connections in Canada all the way to the NBA.
Yeah, you could touch on Lavelle Cook there, and him and I meeting for the first time in Atlanta, Georgia, 4 or 5 years back, and you know, a lot of the successes he's had has actually come from NBL coaches who had given him a look a few years back when we came to St. John. And here he is in 2016 playing in St. John, New Brunswick. And there's a beautiful shot by the big man, #0. Anthony Stover. Jeez, he's got a nice shot for the big man. Rick Bolche, unstoppable going to the hoop.
Passing's the game, and we've seen it right there. We've been seeing it all game. And a nice drive by Lavelle Cook, taking the foul. It'll take 2 shots at the stripe.
A quick note on Lavelle Cook: if you look up his stats from his time spent in London, England, averaging between 34, 36 points per game. And Jack, you've seen his highlight reels from London, England. Very explosive basketball player. Probably the best highlight reel we saw as of late was a dunk from just inside the foul line over 3 opponents. So very exciting player to watch. He's just getting started, a very talented player out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And a big shout out to Patricia Cook, his mom, tuning in from New Orleans. Very proud of her son. Raised 3 great kids down there in the great state of Louisiana, and getting his first points in the National Basketball League of Canada.
My turn.
Yeah, as you said, we did look at his highlight reel, and he's not afraid to rise up and crown someone. He'll say that. Like we said, outside shooting for the Storm is always going to be a big factor. Whenever you face the Storm, always going to close out on their shooters.
I see Chloe going through the motions, going over Beef, balance eye contact, elbow, and follow through, and you saw it there. Beautiful shot by the sniper. You know he wants to hit that 3. Just off target.
You got to keep closing that out, though, because that looked good. Both of those looked good. They were good shots. Anthony Anderson coming down lane. Nice Hail Mary shot at the end, but you got to catch him up there.
It's funny, we come down to back to the fundamentals of the game of basketball. And Jack, you know, I'm about to hand it over to Chloe here in a second. But I have Chloe over at Crandall University actually a lot, coaching one-on-one with the players in Moncton. And Chloe's become somewhat of a shooting specialist with the college players at Crandall University. And it's really funny when Chloe comes in as a 4-year-old and takes a player aside and says, look, you haven't been focusing on pulling that elbow in and your follow-throughs. And a lot of the players will joke and laugh at first and say, you know what, you're right. Sometimes we forget to go back and actually focus on the fundamentals of the game. Whether it's basic bounce passes or seeing the floor well, and some of the basics you learn at the early ages are things that I share with Chloe quite often, and a lot of the pros sometimes need that advice as well. And even high school college and even the pros need that reinforcement of the fundamentals to improve their game. So great point, Chloe. So Chloe, why do you love basketball? basketball clothes. That is the shooting form to play the game of basketball.
And as you were saying, fundamentals. I can never forget the fundamentals. I train, and I always touch on my fundamentals every time I train. And even NBA players, like look at Tim Duncan. He's a legend. He built his game off fundamentals.
Jabs Newby into the game. Another veteran's been around a while. We've seen him before. Murat's picking him up.
Yes. Oh.
Quick drive to the hoop.
There it is. Ball movement, people.
I know in the offseason from the NBL Canada, a lot of D-League teams looking at Newby as a possible pickup, and for good reason.
As they should. He's a worker. That's it. He's a worker.
Yeah, one person you really got to keep an eye on from the Island Storm is Mike Martin. He's just, he's one of those work ethic players. He does a little bit of everything, kind of the things that you may not notice as a fan. But Mike Martin's also a legend in the game here. He's been playing for a long time, but really known for his gritty work ethic out there in the court. He'll get that extra rebound, pass, or a defensive stop when needed.
Hustle. He brings energy on the floor when he comes in. You just
very reliable player. So again, we talked early, but number 20, Brian Addison being a legitimate threat. You know, creating some isolation plays there, Jack, for him early, with good reason. Good. Pure athleticism. They're looking for Volchi.
The ball movement, ladies and gentlemen, the ball movement.
The extra pass. The sniper said, nah, one extra pass. And able to hit that long range through. The score, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, Milrat 37 and the Storm 23. Nice move to the hoop. And again,
nice
look at that.
Pickup.
Look at that.
Addison.
I told you about Brian Addison. I've been watching him this season. He is a very dangerous basketball player. Great pickup by the Storm.
Very good.
And Mike Martin all over. Look at the help defense there. Milrat's unable to finish. There's a sniper for three.
Oh, that looked good right there.
Not able to hit, but Anthony Stover all over the boards.
Anthony Stover almost got that one too. Good pickup.
Must say that the intensity on defense has been incredible by both teams so far this half. Here we are in the second quarter. Score is 37-25 for the Millrats, but it's a much closer game than one of the appears by the score.
On both sides, the defensive and offensive side.
And we know in this league, this spread on the scoreboard is nothing. You've got to be up by 40 or 50 points to actually say you're really up in this league.
There's another one. Another one by Rick Bolsey. Now, as you said, big Nick Evans going to the rim, gets the bump and the foul. Go back to saying they're trying to get they're going right at big old Nick Evans because he's a factor on both ends of the floor. He's a big presence on the defensive end in the middle, and you get him in the paint down low, you're gonna have to double him because he'll grit and grind and he'll get to that hoop. Another thing about Nick Evans is he can step out. He can step outside the paint and drain that jump shot too.
So just into the game, Robinson Opong for the Millrats.
Rick Bolsey again on the boards.
Nice ball movement. Look at the footwork of the sniper. Opong not able to hit. The Storm are all over the boards. Beautiful work. Really, really getting after the basketball. Again, keep an eye out for number 20 on the Storm. Brian Addison.
A charge. Ricky Volsi. We said earlier, he does it all. He rebounds, he scores, he takes charges. Big defensive play right there. I thought it that.
So the score is 40-28 for the Norats. The Storm clearly in the game. If you've been watching this this first half, very evenly matched basketball teams, both for the Storm and for the St. John Norats. Again, that's what we're seeing, Jack, in this league. Teams are so well matched. If you haven't been out to watch an NBL Canada basketball game, you need to be. Travel violation called against the DC sniper, Corey.
Number 5 with the shot there. Kenny
Ochino.
Trying to get it. Big Nick Evans. They got him. See, Nick Evans can do it all. He can pass. He can shoot. And once he gets that body on him, it's crazy what he can do in the post.
Nice shot by Robinson Obon. Oh, I apologize. That was Gary Gibson of the Island Storm hitting that open jumper.
Doug Herring checked in. Gabe Freeland. Gabe Freeland, nice drive to the bucket.
Okay. So the Norats getting back to work here. It's a close game, 40-31 for the Norats. Doug Herron working it inside. Tempo of the game slowing down just a bit here, Jack, but we're getting close to the end of the second quarter.
Seems to be going to more of a half court. The DC sniper with the shot from the corner.
He is deadly at the three-point range.
Allman. That would make for his first tray of the game.
Gary Gibson, another good-looking player for the Storm. Definitely a player you've got to keep an eye on from long range.
Trying to get Nick Evans open with that screen and roll.
Storm looked to be running a set play here for number 5.
Another turnover. A turnover's been a big factor.
Trying to get Kenny open there for an open look. Definitely a good three-point shooter. Gabe Freeman, you got to be careful. This guy knows how to draw fouls.
Gabe Freeland always deadly going to the bucket.
Billy Rush. Billy Rush last season, I was calling games full time here for the Norats. Just throwing down some massive dunks last season, just highlight reels.
He's explosive. We all know that.
Really bringing people to the game.
Yeah, Billy Rush, real explosive player. He's been in the league for a while. Mike Martin going to work. There it is.
Mike Martin, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get the ball into the big. And don't get me wrong, Nick Evans is more than capable of getting buckets. The problem he runs into is he gets triple teamed a lot down there under the basket.
It looks like they've went for more of an inside look, on trying to get more inside looks, working the ball inside instead of settling for those outside shots. And a nice take by number 11, Gary Gibson.
Gibson is dangerous. You look at both of those guards out there. Number 5 and number 11. Kenny and Gary are both dangerous in multiple areas of the game, not only shooting long range, but having that foot speed to get to the hoop.
Mike Martin, Gabe Freeman with that rebound. Another rebound by Gabe Freeman.
You know, Gabe Freeman taking advantage of the fact that the defense was not back and set and just going coast to coast and drawing that foul.
Anthony Stover checked in.
Sniper moving the ball around.
Looking for Gabe Freeman, but
Billy Rush is too fast for that. You got to make really crisp passes to get around the Island Storm.
Billy Rush has those long arms, so he can get in the passing lane very easily, and he's so fast.
Here's the veteran here going to work. It is a matter of time before Billy Rush starts to light up here, ladies and gentlemen. He's by far one of my favorite players in this league.
Yeah.
Again, another NBA quality player out there. We talked, Jack, earlier about the announcer for the Millrats games here tonight. Asking what's really the difference between NBL Canada and D-League basketball and the NBA, and really when you get to experience working with players at all those levels, there's really not much of a difference. These guys are so highly competitive and so talented that any one of them on any given day could be substituted into an NBA game and hold their own. And that's what's beautiful about the National Basketball League of Canada, is developing so many really good, not just veteran players, but young and upcoming players through the system. And and giving opportunities to young Canadian players to really show their talents as well. You look at the Moncton Miracles. They've got a local player who's playing on the team and really putting up great numbers. And your friend actually from in St. John playing with the Millrats.
Yes, yeah. And Lavelle Cook's a perfect example. He played in the NBA Summer League, and he played for the Atlanta Hawks. He had a tryout there. And another former Millrat had a tryout with the Houston Rockets, Akil Okar. So when people ask how fast is basketball growing in Canada, it's rapidly. Billy Rush with the 3. He's heating up.
The DC Sniper looking to go to work. The big man,
Stover, with a beautiful tip.
What an improvement from this young guy here, Stover.
He's been working tonight.
You can tell he put a lot of work in over the summer, really building some toughness under the hoop. There's Freeman.
Cannot count how many fast.
Double A Anthony Anderson knows exactly who to get the rock to.
Always looking for his trailer. Eyes wide open all the time.
Again, keep an eye on number 5 and 11 in the Storm. Very dangerous 1 and 2 positions. The vet, Mike, with the right idea driving to the hoop, not able to draw the foul.
Looking for it. A nice defensive effort there by the Storm. Lavelle Cook checked in.
Number 5, Kenny, was all over that basketball. There's nothing better than seeing your point guard come down and get a block shot on one of the bigs of the Mill Rats. Back into the game is Lavelle Cook. So here's a great example on the floor right now for the Storm of an offensive threat as far as just pure athleticism. So a bit of a confusion about substitutions into the game here. Shouldn't really resort to much.
No. A technical foul on the Storm bench.
A little bit of confusion with the referees. In the end, a technical being called on the bench of the PEI Storm. You know what? I don't think it was actually due to any comments. I think it was just maybe just
a little bit of confusion there.
I think it was just confusion who was getting subbed on and off of the court, and you can occasionally get teed up for that. It's rare, but it happens.
Must be calling it close.
It's in the books, so they're going to get over it. Again, look at the lineup for the Island Storm right now. Very athletic. These guys can all leap out of the building.
Yeah.
Billy Rush, Lavelle Cook. We talked about Brian Addison. Like these guys, even Garrett Gibson. This kid can get up. So don't be shocked. And then of course to clean up the boards and the glass is big Nick Evans. This is a very dangerous lineup out on the floor for the Island Storm. Mill Rats have got to be very careful on defense. There's Billy Rush going to the hoop, kicking it out.
Hitting Lavelle Cook in the corner.
Being smart.
Taking the screen. Getting trapped in that.
Long range 3. Just missed him, and Nick Evans all over the boards.
Almost got it to fall.
Double A Anthony Anderson not able to hit. Nick Evans with another board, so this is where this guy pays off. Nick Evans is gonna bring the boards down for you when needed, and as long as they can keep him in the game, very dangerous threat.
Another board by Nick Evans.
This is the thing, you can keep him off. Oh, Lavelle Cook from New Orleans, Louisiana for 3. This is what this guy brings to the table.
Makes his first 3 of the game.
Again, these players, they're coming in a lot of times, right off of an airplane from pro leagues around the world.
Coming right back.
Doug Aaron is tough as nails. This guy fearless back in the hoop. Again, this is a dangerous lineup, Jack. They've got out there right now. Good job getting to the big man. Nick Evans is full of confidence right now.
You got to double him when he gets down that block.
This lineup is playing so well. They're playing patient basketball. They're waiting for Nick Evans to get his feet set. And when he's getting caught under the hoop, he's kicking it back out for that open 3. And again, you're seeing, and Jack, who's playing the better game right now? It's the Storm. Yeah. It's their spacing on the floor. It's the ball movement.
It's the extra pass.
Extra passes. But not forcing shots. Look at that.
A nice shot there by Brian Addison.
We talked about it. As soon as you saw this lineup get out on that floor.
Look, it's 49-43.
Just like that, 49-43. Storm right back in the game.
Like we said earlier, you can never count a team out by 10 points. Unless you're at 40, you can't call it a blowout.
Coach Salerno knows exactly who he has for personnel on his roster. A very smart, young and up and coming coach here in the NBL of Canada. He knows how to best utilize his players.
Very good coaching.
And the guys he's sending out on the floor right now are known to be very patient with the basketball, and that's really critical at the pro level. Not forcing shots.
No, playing smart basketball.
You see that at the NBA level even quite often. guys being very selfish with the basketball and wanting to take it every time on their own, or forcing passes. Right now, you're seeing a beautiful game of basketball being played right now by the Island Storm.
And like we were talking earlier about a friend of mine that I played with, Jack Tilley, and I always said that he's the best player I know because he's great. He's great at score. He's great anything, but he makes everyone around him so much better.
Brian Addison all over the boards. Look, this lineup. We're going to talk about this lineup all evening. I have a feeling. Specifically talking about the 3, 4, and 5 positions right now.
They've brought so much energy to the team right now and got them right back in the game.
Oh, Anthony Anderson. It doesn't matter who you have on the court. It could be Kobe Bryant. It doesn't matter. He's just full of confidence.
Anthony Anderson finish over anybody.
Anthony Anderson's going to be 70 years old, still being able to ball with all the pros. Lavelle Cook again for 3.
Another 3 from
Lavelle Cook shooting from New Orleans, jacking long range, representing his hometown, just landing on the east coast of Canada. Oh, nice move.
Nice.
This guy.
Anthony Stover, another nice move.
Look, Anthony Stover, we got to know recently, and what a difference in the game. Somebody, you know that over the summer months, he's been working with a great coach because his strength and conditioning and just his focus out there is completely, he's pulled a 360.
Yep. You can't sleep on this guy.
Yeah, we talk about, some high school players, especially bigs, and trying to convince them to be mentally tough or physically tough under the basket. Sam Anstey, a good example, coming out of St. Andrews. Kind of finding him late in high school, 6'11", and saying, how are we going to figure out a way to get this guy brand new to the game at 16 years of age to be physical? And it literally took getting him in, lifting weights. He actually spent some time working with the St. John Sea Dogs trainer, Terry Blizzard, working on being tough, strength and conditioning. And you're seeing this with number 0 on the St. John Millrats. Anthony Stover is just tough as nails, and we weren't seeing that early on from him.
Yeah, he's definitely did a full 3. Over the summer, he worked every day at the gym. And he's putting up big numbers tonight. Rebounds, points, he's all over the place.
Look, at the end of the day, we talk about the National Basketball League of Canada. Every time I cross the border in the U.S. today, there is a lot of talk about players wanting to come play in Canada. And the reason being is that this is a very highly respected basketball league in the world now. In the early days, there were a lot of questions. Will this league survive? Will this league produce great players? And a big shout out to Dave Magley, the commissioner. He literally is around North America spreading the word about this league. One day you'll see him on Facebook. He's in Chicago, Illinois. The next he's in Los Angeles. He's in Toronto. He's in Moncton. And here he is tonight in St. John, New Brunswick, promoting the game of basketball. And that's who you need to really push the league.
Brian Addison scooping up the boards and putting it back down.
Addison, we talked earlier about him. He is going to be dangerous all game, all season. And I'm telling you, this lineup that you're seeing on the floor right now is a championship style caliber roster. And the lineup out there,
they just look like they can't be stopped right now, defensively or offensively.
And look at the score now, Jack. That lineup coming into the game, 54-49 for the Millrats, going into the big. Very patient is Nick Evans. That's his style of game. Kicking it out to the point guard for 3. Not able to hit.
And that would be 54-49 at the half.
Ladies and gentlemen, story of the second quarter. The Storm blew through. This Storm is here and here to stay this evening, ladies and gentlemen. St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. The Island Storm taking on the St. John Millrats at Harbour Station with a great crowd.
I just like to give credit to their coach to know when to utilize their bench and how to utilize their bench. he's doing a very good job right now of putting the right players into the right times, and all energy for the Storm right now.
Well, again, these teams are so well matched that we talk often about Ian McCarthy and his ability to pull in the right players at the right time. He does it every year. Whether it's early on in the season when you're having to really kind of shift your roster around and really determine what's going to be your long-term, what your long-term bench is going to look like going into the end of the season and into playoffs. And I think Salerno's getting on it early. He's got a roster on that bench right now that's ready for playoffs. And you really saw them pick it up there in the second quarter. And so often, Nick Evans doesn't really get the credit that he deserves because he doesn't really get to see the ball the way he should be. With that lineup he had out there on the floor with him, he's able to get his feet set, and you're seeing the real quality talent that he has and being able to use his abilities as a big. It was really great to see. And again, the Millrats, some guys really surprising us, like Anthony Stover, all over the boards. Anthony Anderson's a given. Ricky Volci, also a very common player to be seen on the stat sheet. But I will really zone in on Anthony Stover, really improving his game since last season. Really it's paying off under the hoop. And the Millrats really needed that big under the basket. And I think he's just going to continuously develop daily for the Millrats. And I'm sure Ian McCarthy and Rob Spun are very pleased to see the progress that they're getting out of their big. So it's been a great half so far, ladies and gentlemen. And the score is 54-49 for the St. John Millrats. We are broadcasting from St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. For those of you tuning in around North America and around the world, this is Ben Morrison on the mic. Alongside is Jack Daggle, a local high school player and former player of mine on the Canada Elite summer team. And we'll be back on air in the second half. Now he's watching it on his TV. On his laptop.
You should have like games and not shooting. Yeah, you should have people shoot against each other. No, it wasn't wrestling in there? Oh yeah, Tim Keeler does it. Yeah, he still does it, I think. I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he still does it. I think that's Sophie. Did you go to ours? Oh, I didn't recognize it at all. The air room? You. Yeah, you never know. How you doing? Good. What's new? Oh, you're in Florida courses. Cute. Oh, they take the When did you get back? I just here. Like,
There's like an extra Ethernet cable.
okay. I love the I've never been there. You've never been there? You stay right on the resort? Yeah. And you don't have to ask for parking, where to park, and how to get there. All the stuff you want to do there. Nice. Did you do how many cars did you see?
Jack goes to that.
What do you think? You need a vacation from the vacation. Where are you working?
What's up? How you doing? Feel good?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, NBL Canada basketball. The Island Storm are here visiting the St. John Millrats. It's been a great game so far, Jack. Quick tempo. And Gabe Freeman off to an early start. That shouldn't be a shock.
Always on the inside. Gabe Freeman, always a threat. And the story of the second quarter was when the Storm came out with that offensive line and pushed back into the game from their 12-point deficit. Doug Herring with a nice move in the foul. Slow to get up, Doug Herring.
First foul.
No, I'm going to get David to take.
Take her where?
Doug Herring able to hit that first free throw. He is money at the line. Again, Millrats have been known for years, going back to their days in Manchester, New Hampshire. Believe it or not, for doing one thing very well, and Anthony Anderson was there back in those days, and that was in the second half, finding a way to get to the free throw line, Jack, and you've seen how important that is in NBL Canada and how they pay off late in the game hitting those free throws.
Yeah, the Millrats are always known for having explosive guards at the 1 and 2. Last year we had Alex Superman Johnson and Anthony Anderson, which are both explosive guards.
Rashad Wack hitting a long-range three. He's also he's been around the game for a while. Ball into Mike Martin. Gabe Freeman coming up with a big steal. Good patience with the ball.
Gabe Freeman, I can't say it enough, is always a factor in any position you put him in.
Okay, well, here's what Doug Herring does very well. He loves driving to the hoop, drawing a couple defenders in and kicking the ball out. He does it so well. And getting his teammates involved. You know, Jack, like a lot of the time, you don't have to be the most talented player on the floor to be the most effective. You have to be smart with the basketball. Doug Herring is very cautious and very patient with the ball. And again, like Anthony Anderson, sees the floor very well. Look at that. You know, no forcing of passes.
when Anthony Anderson and Doug Herring are on the floor as 1 and 2, it's always a force to be reckoned with.
So Versi not able to hit, even though they used the shot clock well. Drawing the harm are the Island Storm. Again, Jack, what you're going to see here in the second half, very common in pro basketball, both teams looking to get into situations to shoot free throws, to really slow down the pace of the game. And you know, we see it in college basketball, NCAA every year, March Madness. Which team is going to win? And it really, 99% of the time, comes down to that mental fitness balance, and who's able to really hit those free throws in the high-intensity moments in March Madness playoffs. And this is no different. And there you see that missed free throw, and they really matter in the second half in NBL Canada.
That's true. I mean, they're called free throws for a reason.
And so often, at all levels of the game, the best of the best end up missing free throws when really necessary. But the Millrats have always found a way every season to find guys who've got that mental toughness to make those free throws when needed, and that's where they really tend to shine.
Oh! Anderson with that deep right in the face of Mike Martin.
Mike Martin.
Hello.
Look, Mike Martin
Hello.
and Anderson go way back. There's a mutual respect there. And Mike Martin is saying, all right, I've seen this before. This is not a shock.
From way deep. Way deep.
Too many people question the game of Anthony Anderson, not so much his game, but his age. And age is not a factor for Anthony Anderson.
Not at all. Even his late ages, he's still as explosive as he was when he was younger. And I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Well, we talk about that mental fitness battle, and the really great players can play into their late 30s and early 40s because they're so smart and so patient. They know maybe they're not as fast as they used to be, but they find new ways to be effective on the floor, whether it be a better passer, or it could just be doing the extra things needed, like Mike Martin. He does all of those little things that a coach really needs in a game, whether it be the extra rebound, extra defensive stop. And you touch on Mike Martin again. He holds his own in this league, even at his age, being around for a while, because of his grittiness. And so again, we touch on that often. Let's go to the NBA level. Chris Anderson used to have a mohawk and play for the Miami Heat.
The Birdman.
He is by far not that talented offensively. However, his grittiness and his ability to grab rebounds is worth more than just the dollar value on the contract that he gets in the NBA.
Also, I'd like to touch on that is things that don't appear on the stat sheet, presence and all this other stuff, like being a big defensive presence. They exploit your matchups, and Mike Martin's real good at that.
And look at that. We talked about these two new guards for the Storm. Very dangerous. Number 11, Gary Gibson's a phenomenal basketball player. Very explosive off that first step.
A nice pick there.
The guards and the Millrats really picking up on defense. Doug Herring Jr. is known for his grittiness as well at the 1 and 2 positions. There's an open three.
Gary Gibson with a three-point try.
The DC sniper coming down with the rebound. Double Anthony Anderson kicking it out to the sniper. Oh, for three! They give him that
way back.
Sniper. He was just waiting for that three bomb. So again,
the DC sniper for no reason.
Both teams have the ability to shoot that long-range three. And Mike Martin not afraid to shoot that. He can hit that open jumper.
It really spreads your floor when your big man can shoot.
Rashad Wack with a personal foul. Not going to change the game that much. Score 68-58 for the Mill Rats. But the Storm hanging in there. And Jack, don't be shocked here to see that lineup come back in again. We saw there late in the second quarter. There's Doug Herring. We talk about grittiness. You know, when you've got your point guard under rebounding the ball, out rebounding the bigs, that's a very valuable player to have on the court.
Very good. And we see Addison walking up to the bench right now for get checked in. So that might be the start of subbing that line in.
And here it is. Head coach of the Island Storm, a very knowledgeable basketball coach. A lot of rumors out there. He does quite a bit of scouting for NBA and WNBA basketball teams, and that would not shock me in the least. Very smart coach, and he knows how to best utilize his players, and you're starting to see that lineup, like you said, Jack, come together. We saw late in the second quarter.
Another big name that just got checked in is Stover. He's been grabbing everything off the boards.
Stover's a completely different basketball player than we saw last season. Doug Herring wide open. Nails the free throw.
You cannot leave him open. I keep telling you, you cannot leave him open.
Mill Rats are on a run here. 73-58 Mill Rats. That was all pure hustle. Yeah, we talked earlier. We were joking a little bit with Chloe, talking about the fundamentals of the game. And Jack, you know as well as I do, you've been coached by me, and you know that really at the end of the day, when I go to select a team, I will choose someone with grit and toughness over talent any day. And let's touch on someone like Matt Brown, who's now playing at University of New Brunswick and St. John. He is pure work ethic, and I mean, yes, he's very talented, but it took time for that to develop. But he always had that grittiness about him, and you just did not want to battle with that guy under the basket. You're going to get beat up. But that toughness coming out in the game of basketball, and we're seeing the game become less and less of a kind of. 10 years ago, you watched the NBA, you'd hear a foul call every 5 or 6 seconds because they really just putting a hand on someone, you're drawing a foul. But the game is becoming more physical. The players are getting bigger and stronger, and I think that's just becoming more appealing to Canadians who tend to be hockey fans, seeing a more physical game of basketball being played here in Canada, and that's a good thing to see. And you look at these players like Doug Herring, right? Like 10 years ago, you would not have seen a point guard in there battling with 6'10" bigs for boards. But they're bigger, stronger, faster, and just more athletic. And you can see the coach of the Storm putting in these specialists. And we got a new player into the game here right now, Terry Thomas. He is a very dangerous perimeter shooter. I know this already about him. And keep a focus on him. He'll hang out there around the three-point line and wait for that extra skip pass. Good job drawing
and that's been the story of the game there. It's drawing fouls, getting to the line, making your free throws.
Right, I talked about that really going into the second half. These pro teams really utilize the third and fourth quarters to get to the free throw line, and it's the team that makes those free throws that's going to win the game. I do not count out the Island Storm. Salerno has a lot of, he's got a good poker hand. He's got some tricks up his sleeve on the bench that he's just waiting to bring into the game.
We've seen that in the second quarter. He brought that line and it took them right out of the hole.
That lineup was dominant in the second quarter.
And we said once they came in, the size and athleticism and the smarts was a big.
Well, anytime someone like Nick Evans gets the opportunity to play with 4 teammates who you really utilize his size and really are patient with him, a guy of his stature really needs some time to get his feet set, so he doesn't commit a turnover like a travel. Happens quite often with bigs, taking extra, too many steps. It's usually because their feet aren't set. But that lineup that came out in the second quarter, that looked like perfect basketball, and that's what you want to see. So I think we'll see more of that very soon. And Doug Herring Jr. having an amazing basketball game so far. Just attacking the hoop. Nick Evans doing a very good job staying out of foul trouble. I think Coach Salerno really getting them to run that triangle offense. You can see right now, Jack, where he is located. He's staying out of the paint.
Another thing with him is when you double Nick Evans, he has the vision. He has the vision to see where the whole floor, and he will hit that. He'll hit someone in the corner, or he'll hit someone on the three.
Absolutely.
He's just a complete player.
Bolster reminds me of a linebacker. He, again, we talk about the increasing size and speed, and, you know, I guess maybe it started with Shaquille O'Neal back in the day and him arriving in the league, but ever since, it seems, look at LeBron James. He is built like an NFL football player. Nice crossover, but Doug Herring, he's just on fire.
Doug Herring with the pretty crossover, leaving his defender way in the dust.
But these guys playing the game of basketball, you can even look at the point guards out on the floor for the Storm. Physically strong, and this game is becoming more physical by the day. The sniper just not able to hit the target that time.
It's had a little shaky night tonight.
Oh, there we go. Look, we talked.
There it is.
Number 13 coming into the game.
Free throws.
Terry Thomas is a shooter. He is a pure shooter. You get him onto the floor, you draw some fouls, and if he gets to the free throw line, you're going to run into some issues. And you'll see the score change slowly but surely in favor of the Island Storm the more they get to the free throw line. You get into bonus scenarios, Jack. That's when things really become dangerous. Both teams look like they're in. They've got 4 fouls. Still 3 minutes, 27 seconds left. It's in the third.
It's back and forth right now. It's back and forth. No team's letting up so far. And a good hustle. A good hustle by Terry Thomas.
Oh, yeah, the hustle of the Highland Storm tonight. Look at that. So this is where toughness and grittiness pays off. Terry Thomas shooting a free throw, missing, but getting his own rebound, and then battling to get the ball out for an open look.
That's pure hustle there.
Oh! Look at Anthony Stover! That was a get off this moment brought to you by the St. John Millrats. Anthony Stover just completely changed his game. Off the glass, two-handed thunder dunk. Get off this. Evans taken off
with the response. Nick Evans throwing it down one hand.
We talked about getting Nick Evans into the right spots on the floor and clearing space. Nick Evans is having an incredible basketball game tonight for the Island Storm.
Same with Anthony Stover. That's a matchup to look at, Anthony Stover and Nick Evans. That is a very good matchup tonight. Both putting up great, right there, Anthony Stover with another board. Both putting up great numbers in every category.
Well, they gave him a nickname for a reason. The sniper just sniping that one. Hitting the target. Beautiful looking stroke on that shot. Nick Evans not afraid to go to the basket tonight. And instead of getting foul trouble,
he's giving foul trouble.
And you know what? He has a nice shot and a nice touch on his free throws. He's going to probably make these.
I'd like to see him utilize his outside game to spread their floor a little bit more.
Nick Evans is a man of confidence. Once his confidence is on, he becomes unstoppable. And again, it's the people surrounding him on the floor that are making this possible. Look at that. He's going to hit those free throws.
Always good to see a big man with a nice shooting touch. Utilized well in the offense.
Well, coaches and players in this league know the talent level of Nick Evans to be very high, but you have to be able to utilize him as an effective big. And he's getting a lot of high fives coming off onto the bench right now. Great game. Doug Herring trying to figure out what to do with the ball. Here's going to the hoop.
A nice behind the back cross.
Again,
Finish.
confidence.
Finish. Doug Herring. You can't keep him out of the game for too long because he's on a hot streak right now, and you cannot stop Doug Herring when he gets hot.
He is a gritty player. Not afraid to drive to the hoop. No, that's still all over the boards right now. Newbie's dangerous. A lot of dangerous perimeter shooters, Jack, on the floor from the Millrats right now. Look at it there. Volsky's never afraid to shoot that three. Mr. Reliable. Brian Addison has been very reliable for the Storm. Storm all over the boards again. Another offensive rebound. Another opportunity to get more points up on the board. Island Storm being very patient. Still good work.
It was a good look. It was a very good look.
Patience pays off. You know, taking the extra few seconds there to be patient with the ball adds a bit of frustration to the defense, and they often will commit a foul. So good job by the Island Storm to be patient with the ball.
And when you're making good passes and finding open looks, it wears out your defense. And when you get tired legs, you get a tired defense. And that's not good for any.
Well, nice dish. I've got to give a shout out to Robert Norman. And I met Robert actually at St. Mary's University. I was there for a North Pole Hoops event, and I was coaching. And he was there actually just checking out some of the local talent, the young kids. And him talking about how he wanted to play in the NBL, and here he is. There, he just got 2 points up on the board. I believe he's a Canadian from Halifax. Doug Herring, we know he wants to drive to the hoop. Force that shot at the buzzer. That's acceptable. It's going to happen.
It's acceptable. The tipping was no good. The tipping was no good.
So Jackson scored 85-77, exactly what we expect in the NBL Canada. A very tight game.
Like we said, slowly but surely, it's coming back.
And it's going to come down to a game of free throws.
How much you want to bet that line we see in the second quarter comes back in very soon?
Look, you know, I had written a blog there the other night about mental toughness and Lavelle Cook and what he's battled through to get to the pro leagues, and specifically Hurricane Katrina. Him and his family get battling through that storm and surviving, and you know, talking about how struggling, you know, little struggles through life actually will make you tougher. We talk about a lot of inner city kids in St. John, the North End, South End. Some of my best basketball players have come out of those parts of the city, and those are quite often the players at the end of a game in pro basketball who you want to go to shoot free throws, because they've been through some of the hard times and they've got that grittiness and mental fitness that comes with life sometimes. But, you know, a lot of these guys, coaches know who they can rely on, and it's usually those mentally fit guys who you want to get to the free throw line. So look for Coach Salerno and Coach Rob Spun to get lineups out there in the fourth quarter packed full of guys that they know can hit free throws in the fourth.
Always about confidence. If you have it's always confidence. You need to have those players that are confident to be there for the shot, or not be there to be the goer.
So again, Neurots are very smart with Anthony Anderson these days, and really limiting his playing time, especially because he's a fourth quarter player. Anthony Anderson is legendary for coming in at the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter to come in and drop 20 points and hit his free throws, and you just wait to see it.
And it's good to have a veteran like Anthony Anderson.
Robert Norman coming with a huge block.
A nice dish and a nice finish by Addison.
You know, Billy Rush is normally known for his offensive game, and
you can tell he's struggling a little bit out there, but he's finding other ways to be productive. He's feeding the ball to the right players at the right time.
He's utilizing his other strengths. And another bucket by Doug Herring. He can't be stopped. He cannot be stopped.
Doug Aaron is definitely on fire tonight. I watched him in Moncton the other night. He was struggling a bit, and I said, "This guy's he's gonna rebound." And when he gets back to St. John on his home court, again, you're seeing guys on the floor for the NORADs. Look at the sniper out there, Doug Herring, Newbie. These guys can all hit free throws. Volch is also a very good perimeter shooter.
A nice dish on the inside.
Norman getting just a little bit frustrated there, committing that foul.
The mental toughness. It's all about mental toughness.
Billy Rush is another notable late game player. He may have a rough first, second, or third quarters in the game, but he will show up late in the fourth when needed to hit that long range three or throw down a massive dunk to just really motivate his team. There goes Doug Herring. They'll just give him an isolation play here. Oh, and Herring!
Bucket after bucket. Doug Herring is lighting it up.
Coach Spun has said, give him the rock. Isolation plays all around. And look, that magical lineup we talked about, Jack.
Seems to be coming together right now. Lavelle Cook coming
in right now.
Nick Evans coming to get checked in.
A little bit of history lesson for folks out there. Coach Salerno. We'll see how this play finishes. The newbie to the hoop. We're talking about Lavelle Cook coming in from New Orleans, Louisiana. Lavelle actually played on Salerno's summer team in Las Vegas. So these guys actually have a bit of history together that people don't know about. Wow, that was a beautiful shot. Beautiful forward. Malcolm Grant. But so Salerno knows these guys well. If you haven't seen them on his roster here, they've most likely been on his roster elsewhere. It could be in the summer months or maybe pick up basketball. Who knows? But he has connections to all these guys, and they trust him.
Another bucket. Doug Herring could not be stopped this quarter. And one.
They're trying to double team him. He's just slicing and dicing through
He's too quick, and the size that he has at his position, it's another great quality about Doug Herring.
All right, Jack, take a look at the lineup now. What are we looking at for the Storm?
We're looking at a very smart, athletic, explosive lineup.
Right, so these guys know how to spread the floor very well. They know how to find the big man, Nick Evans. And you know he's going to get some quality looks with the players he's got surrounding him out there.
Because when you get all these shooters in it takes less pressure off the paint because you have to close out, right? So we'll look for Nick Evans to get some good looks in the paint.
Definitely. And Nick Evans, really what this is going to come down to, I think it's a really good idea for Salerno to keep Nick Evans out of the paint, keeps him out of foul trouble. And because he can't hit that open jumper. Nice drive to the hoop, following his own rebound. There, look at the hustle of the Island Storm. All over the basketball. They still got
another rebound. Brian Addison
had 4 rebounds and 1 possession on offense. But again, what an amazing. Well, we're seeing it happen. A couple of new players and it being added to the roster of the Island Storm. And look how it's paying off. This is an incredible lineup we're seeing out on the floor right now. And look at the confidence of Nick Evans. You just can see it in him.
Doug Herring with a
sniper saying, well, no need for sniping here. A nice, easy finger roll layup.
That's what you want. That's exactly what you want coming at the end of a fast break. A little shove there on Newbie.
96-83. This is exactly what we expected in the National Basketball League of Canada. Nice ball movement. Look at Lavelle Cook, wide open, nailing the 3. Cook shooting long range. Dropping in from New Orleans, Louisiana. I don't know how many. We're going to have to check the stat sheet. I think he's hit 4 threes already. 3-bomb.
4-3. He's lighting it up from out there.
Another, we give a shout out early back to his mom, Patricia, back in New Orleans, who I know well. There is a house packed full of Lavelle Cook fans watching this game in New Orleans. And I'm sure they're not only just impressed by the play of Lavelle Cook, but this lineup in particular out on the floor. If you're in the United States of America wanting to see good quality basketball and you're tuning into this game, the Island Storm are being very effective at sharing the ball. That give and go type of a game with the big, getting the ball into the big and kicking it back out for an open look from the perimeter.
And see, that's what I mean. Because Nick Evans has the vision to do that, right?
Yeah, Rashad Wack getting an easy look at the hoop because of the movement and the spacing on the floor. This comes with patient basketball players who are mentally tough. So this is a beautiful lineup for Salerno to have. If he can avoid injuries, which I think he can.
Very, very good for close games in the late quarter.
This team's going to come back into this game and they're going to make it close. No shock that Herring's in on that play. And as stated earlier, it should be no shock that Gabe Freeman and Anthony Anderson, AA, getting ready to sign into the game, getting close to the 5-minute mark. Ricky saying merci beaucoup, je viens de Québec et je joue le basketball. Volchi, the Quebec native, has no problem lighting up long range. I love watching Volchi play the game.
A nice look. And
get off this!
Brian Addison with the
throwdown. And who gave him the ball?
That would be Nick Evans.
Nick Evans with the time. Nick Evans is playing NBA quality basketball tonight as the big man.
He gets the...
That's a tough call. That's a real tough call.
It looked like a charge to me.
Yeah, there is confusion between the referees there.
I think that
one ref calling a charge and another one calling a defensive foul. And Nick Evans,
Nick Evans just made an amazing play to Brian Addison on one side of the court and comes down and get a charge.
Nick Evans deserves that call after the game he's been playing. So let the call go in the way of Nick Evans. I'm so happy to finally see, I've spent so many years working in this league and seen Nick Evans sometimes struggle at that position because of some of the lineups in this league. Mm-hmm. But this is a prime example of how you can best utilize Nick Evans. That was unfortunate. But you're right, that was a good point you made earlier, seeing the two bigs, Nick Evans and then Anthony Schober, both of them throwing monster dunks down tonight already.
It's a good matchup to look at. Both are getting their points and both are getting their boards.
Well, Anthony Anderson's into the game looking to draw fouls. She's wide open. Bam!
Look at that. Doug.
We talked late in the fourth quarter. Your veterans are going to show up. Anthony Anderson, Volsi,
Doug Herring,
Gabe Freeman.
Doug Herring has been showing up this whole fourth quarter.
Lavelle Cook looks like he's trying to go to work. Just missing the out-open three. And then Nick Evans all over the boards.
Nice tip by Brian Addison.
Brian Addison, MVP of the game as all-around player. Really, he's been doing it a lot. We predicted that early on from that guy. And the big.
And come right back down the floor and you see Stover grabbing a rebound.
Anthony Stover's going to get a high five from me at the end of the game. He has just turned his game around. The coaching staff in the Millrats have done a phenomenal job working with him. Gabe Freeman. Look at that.
Whenever Gabe Freeman comes on the floor, something positive happens.
The two vets Freeman spending a lot of time in Ontario. You know, playing a lot of pro basketball in Ontario, Michigan. He is a true vet, and these guys know how to get things done late in the game. Look for Anderson to try to draw some fouls here. He loves going to the free throw line in the fourth, and we're at that 5-minute mark we talked about.
Freeman with a nice three.
Coach Rob Spun, as stated earlier, was waiting for that 5-minute mark. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're turning into pro basketball and you're new to the game, if there's one thing to focus on when you get to the fourth quarter is that you really got to watch for coaches who are bringing in their veteran players. At the 5-minute mark, those reliable, mentally tough guys that you know you can rely on to hit the open shots, to hit their free throws, they're going to be brought into the game and they're going to show their worth. Anthony Anderson, Gabe Freeman, Voltier to Quebec. These guys know how to get it done, and they are getting it done, and this is why the Mill Rats for years have been winning in the fourth quarter. I talked about it going back to New Hampshire, Manchester, New Hampshire. These guys are legendary, and Ian McCarthy was also a very good basketball coach in his day. He's very smart as well. He knows who he's bringing into these teams each year, and he's not looking just for talent. He's looking for mentally tough guys who can hit open shots late in the game. Anthony Anderson's just going to be a lifelong guy. He's going to be, you can rely on him. Yeah. Gabe Freeman, you can rely on him. Bochy, you can rely on. Those three guys, give them the ball in the fourth quarter. The odds are 99% of the time they'll hit those shots. Again, though,
it's the big three.
Yeah, the big three for the Mill Rats. But go back to this lineup with the PEI Storm.
Yeah, Gabe.
They're going small. They're playing some small ball here, getting a bunch of guards into the game.
Gary Gibson, a very explosive guard, very good shooter too. So we'll look out for him. See how he makes out in this fourth quarter.
So Salerno's taking a different game plan here and saying, look, let's run with our small ball style here. Keeping Nick Evans there out of the paint. There he is. There's that open look. Not able to hit. Gabe Freeman!
He cannot be stopped.
Gabe Freeman literally waiting for the fourth quarter. A nice way to shut down the crowd there. Number 3, Malcolm Grant.
Yeah, he did answer very well.
These guards of the Storm are really going to have to respond here. 112-96.
The patience of Ricky Volsi.
You remember we talked about this early in the game. I said, these veteran players in their late 30s, early 30s, mid 30s. People love to talk them out of their game and say, you know what? Even in tennis, you look at tennis stars who back in the day when you're 29, okay, well, it's time to retire. No, some of your best players in the game are in their mid 30s, and you're seeing it in basketball now too. Gabe Freeman, Anthony Anderson. These guys will show up when you need them most in the fourth quarter. And that's what we're seeing. Athletes in general across all sports are lasting longer, and they're finding ways to remain key components to the game. Gabe Freeman.
That looked real clean to me. I don't know what the refs were looking at right there.
But the guys the Mill Rats have on the floor right now are all very reliable.
Very smart.
You do have that young center, but he's in there really to be scrappy and to pull down the board. You can see him already clearing out. But players 1 through 4, all long-range shooters you can rely on.
He's a young center, but he's smart. He's gonna make out to be a very good player.
Coach Spun Smart saying, look, just wait down the other end. We need you in there to really pull down the rebounds. He's got that long reach.
He reminds me of a Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, he does. And his game style is a bit similar too. And again, it's a different game style than I saw in the past from him. And there's the vet coming into the game, Mike Martin.
I think they.
Anthony Anderson always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Fouls on Anthony.
He's sneaky.
Yeah. No easy
Just when
buckets
you
in the
think-
paint.
Yeah, just when you think you're in the paint for an easy two, Anthony Anderson at 5'11", taking the ball from you.
Can't count him out. He can jump. People don't know, but he has the hop.
And again, let's talk about the game of Brian Addison. Just an all-around basketball player. Effective on defense, blocking shots, free throws. You know, explosive.
Yes, yeah. It's been a game of every position, really. There's been very good numbers in every position for both teams.
Don't count out the Storm yet. There's over 3 minutes left in the game here, 114-98. Salerno still has time, and he knows it. So you don't be shocked to see some more mass substitutions come in for the Island Storm.
And right now, the Millrats seem to be running the clock a little bit.
Volsey players. Let's list them again. Anderson, Volsey, Gabe Freeman, Doug Herring Jr., all veteran players who you can rely on in the fourth. And you can see Newbie about to come into the game.
And a nice
That's a nice
pull-up.
shot.
That was a nice pull-up. Malcolm Grant.
He's been a very reliable player this game.
Coming through big to quiet the crowd.
117-100. Don't count anybody out. Remember being a one Millrats game, they were down 30 points with about 3 minutes left, and the Millrats coming back to win a battle with the crowd essentially had already left the building.
Looked like they were going for a...
Do not leave a pro basketball game until the buzzer has gone.
Anything can happen.
A little bit of physical ball here. Anthony Anderson, now he loves to run out the clock if possible. Be very patient with the basketball. They're going to run out the time.
Very smart.
Nice looks. And Anderson in his later years has become very... Oh, nice look. That was a nice look at a three there.
Couldn't will it in.
But Anderson becoming less and less selfish, I find, over the years and being more
Mike
effective.
Martin going coast to coast.
The vet going coast to coast, Mike Martin. Also a reliable vet. Salerno might be thinking maybe he waited just a bit too long for the vet Martin to come in because he is a very reliable player.
I think they need to look for some more open looks for him. Give him some isolations.
Again, at this point in the season, this is early, right? Every season we see this. It's really a test of lineups.
Anthony Stover again and one off that nice rebound. He's not stopping.
Somebody's been beating him up all summer. And he's responding. Well, there's 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the game.
Mike Armstrong, number 42, checked into the game.
So the big man, Stover, coming out.
And the response for Anthony. Nice
Mike Armstrong, the local.
there. Nice crowd reaction.
Remember Mike Armstrong being that kid, he's a ball boy 5-6 years back with the Millrats. Now he's out there playing pro basketball. You know, we talked about that. Julian Roach, Jack Tilley, Mike Armstrong. We can go through the list of players who have somehow been involved with the Millrats. And whether it's them or their fathers, we touch on Jeff White, we touch on Paul Vaughn, like a lot of Jim Palmer. A lot of local professionals who've gotten heavily involved in really the development aspect of the Millrats and getting youth involved. And that's something I love to do as well. And Jack had everyone from 4-year-olds through to grade 2 all the way up to pro coaches sitting in here and really weighing in on games
for a reason. Getting exposure for the Mill Rats to as many people as possible, and you're seeing that's coming together more of it at a community level now.
And it's good. It's good because it keeps the growth of the game in St. John rapidly growing, and with everybody connected, we, like you said earlier, when we were talking earlier, we had a scout from Ohio coming to UMB to watch us play the Can-Am, the East Coast games there. And that just shows how far that basketball's came in Canada.
Well, Canada in particular, Canada basketball has really turned the corner as far as promoting the game. Instead of just focusing on Ontario, really spreading the focus from coast to coast, from Vancouver to Newfoundland, and you're seeing. Oh, and nice attempt at an alley-oop dunk there.
What a nice three from the DC sniper, Corey Allman. That would make his third of the game.
Yeah, we talked about Canada. Let's go to Washington, D.C., where the DC snipers come out.
This crowd is riled up right now.
St. John, New Brunswick is fired up. Nice shot, nice. Yeah, talk about hitting shots, Jack, under pressure. Number 3, Malcolm Grant does not care
with the tight handle, and the nice shot. A little shake and bake on that one.
Love to have guys in your roster like that.
Gabe Freeman coming out with a nice reaction from the. You can just tell how much this crowd loves him.
So again, this game has really come down to, the vet players for the Mill Rats. We talked earlier. What are the St. John Mill Rats as an organization known for? And they're known for really showing up in the fourth. And it really comes down to the veterans. You can see Ian McCarthy's added some key players to this roster. Rob Spun, I shouldn't count him out at all. He's equally as experienced in recruiting players. But you can see they really utilize their the youth on their team earlier on in the game. Keep that score close, but in the fourth, really going to your vets, and the Mill Rats always seem to use that in the fourth.
Some pushing and holding there on that rebound.
Well, that brings this game to an end, ladies and gentlemen. 2 seconds left.
A nice win. And they turned it on in the fourth quarter with the vets.
For those of you from St. John, New Brunswick, this is my hometown. I now live in Dieppe, New Brunswick, but I still call this town home. And I'm more than happy on occasion to be able to come back and do live broadcasts, bringing my daughter up the highway with me, reconnecting with some of my former players, Jack and David Nagel, getting Chloe a little bit of airtime early in the game. And a huge welcome to Lavelle Cook from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yes. Big part of this game tonight, Lavelle Cook.
The team didn't pull off the win, but they played well. And for him, I think personally he's going to go home happy, knowing that coming off that airplane flight, hitting 3 or 4 long-range threes, that's going to be a nice confidence boost going into the season for him.
Yes.
So thank you to everyone tuning in from around North America and around the world to Mill Rats live stream TV. Signing out is Ben Morrison, Jack, and Chloe Morrison, who was on earlier in the game. Thank you to Chloe. Chloe, is there anything you want to say at the end of the game?
Basketball than anything in the whole area.
And that's where we're going to finish with, ladies and gentlemen. The kids in St. John are loving the game. Youth in the province are really getting involved in basketball, and Jack, you're one of them. And we're signing off for now, and a very good friend of mine who's taken over the season will be back on the air, Stacey Atkinson, and Chris Woodside will be back with you for the next home game. Thank you for having me on live TV again, and a big win for the Mill Rats. See ya. Want to go to that? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to go really fast because we have to go. Okay, I'm gonna take it. Okay.
Hey, see ya.